into IMHO. I'm Kelcey. That is Lang. And this weekend, Lang, our very beautiful Memphis, the city that we live in, hosted an EYBL circuit. And it was so cool because you get to see the talent of the next generation, these high school kids who are so freaking good.
Yeah.
And like the future of basketball. And so it got us thinking, as it always does. Some of the high school guys who had hype around their names, I don't know. I chose all bus. Did you?
No.
Cool. Let's do it.
None of mine are bus, actually.
I chose all three bus.
None
Let's
of mine
go.
are. My third one. I'm trying to think of how to frame this. He played before either of us. We never saw him play.
Okay.
But I've heard so many stories about this guy. From
Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes.
I guessed
high
it?
school. Yeah, he went to high school in Philadelphia, and there's a guy, Sonny Hill, who was like kind of the godfather of the Philly hoop scene. And Sonny Hill told us a story. It's when I was at Slam that Wilt would do a dunk where he'd put the ball in his elbow, jump up over the rim, and punch it through with his other hand.
Of course.
Incredibly hyped. Every college in the country wanted him to go there. He ended up going to Kansas. Left his senior year to go play for the Globetrotters because he was just tired of college basketball. And when he went to the NBA as a rookie, he averaged 37 and 27.
As one does.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you are a positive Polly. I am a negative Nelly. And I'm going, guys who...
Yeah.
Okay. Numero 3 for me.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Kwame Brown.
Okay.
I know he's been in the news lately a lot, but he was like just the man, right? In high school. Obviously, he played a long time in the NBA. But like,
Yeah,
was
that's the
he like
thing.
the hype that he had in high school? Did it live up and transfer into his NBA career?
I could see what you're saying. Like he was the number one pick in the draft. You know, everyone thought he was going to be this transformative player. It's hard for me to like quantify him as a bust because he made $60-something million
Sure
and
did.
played for a decade.
But was
you know?
he as hyped in high school? Like, if he played in EYBL this weekend in Memphis,
yeah.
and you were like, "Wow, he is the man. He is him."
Yeah.
He was not him in the NBA.
No, he was not. The guy who I would go with number 2 on my list, and there's a whole bunch of guys from New York, right? There's always these New York guys who, from Lenny Cook to Sebastian Telfair, all the way down the line. Stephon Marbury to me was like.
I did a book report on him.
Like everyone knew about Stephon Marbury coming out of high school. He went to Lincoln High School. He Got Game was loosely based around his life. There was a book written about him in high school. And he ends up going to the NBA and making millions and millions and millions of dollars and doing great and actually kind of hitting the hype and reaching those heights. So as I was talking about this, I realized like I'm sort of complicit in the hype of a lot of these guys because I worked at Slam magazine for a long time and like Kwame Brown was in Slam in high school. A lot of these guys were in Slam when they were in high school. But Steph was one of those guys to me. He sort of transcended just like basketball news. He was in newspapers and magazines and everything else.
I did a book report on him.
Yeah, and he made it. So go for it.
Okay, well, my number 2 is a guy that you just named, also
Lenny
from
Cook?
New York. Think about
Sebastian.
what my list is.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know who you're going to go with.
Sebastian
Yeah.
Telfair. Again, he had a movie about his journey, I guess, in New York, street ball. He was like the guy in New York with Marbury, but like he was like the guy, right?
He's
Played for
Steph's
Boston.
cousin, younger cousin, yeah.
There you go. Played for Boston, played for the Suns, and then just
He was on the cover of Slam in the NBA. Like he had like when he was on the Blazers. He
the
was,
hype was hyping.
He was pretty good in the NBA for the first couple years.
The hype was hyping, and the hype did not hype where the hype needed to hype.
It's a lot of hype. For number 1, I was just gonna, everyone's been talking about Victor Wembanyama lately, and saying, "Wow, no one's ever been this hyped before." And the most hyped
best
person of all
draft.
time is LeBron.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh, period.
Like, and so I had LeBron number 1 on my list. Like, we did a story on him when he was a sophomore in high school.
There was
in
news,
Slam.
people following
Yeah.
him around since the time he was in ninth
He's
grade.
been, and the thing that's impressive about LeBron to me is, with all those expectations and all the hype and everything, he has surpassed and met every one of those
Yeah.
expectations. And
Yeah.
it's the things he's done, even off-court stuff. All that stuff's been incredible, and I think no one's ever been as hyped as LeBron.
For sure. All right, my number 1 is a guy who got picked first overall. I can't take myself seriously. He got picked first overall in a draft that had Mike Bibby, Vince Carter, Jason Williams, Paul Pierce. The list goes on and on and on. Yes, he played 11 or so years in the NBA. But if you're the first pick and you have all the hype in the world from high school, and I've never heard of you before 10 minutes ago, you're on my number one list of you were too hyped for what actually happened. Nicknamed the Candyman, Michael Olowokandi.
Yeah, Olowokandi. He was a guy, I did a story on him in Slam.
Of course.
He was a guy who, had not played a lot in high school, went to like a small college, Pacific, I think, in California. And all of a sudden in college transformed into this big, he was like a back to the basket center type player. And then when he got to the NBA, it never really translated until his contract year with the Clippers. And he got to the end of that rookie contract and he had one great season. And all of a sudden everybody thought, oh, it clicked. It's going to happen. He's going to be great. And it never happened again.
Yep. Negative Nancy, positive Polly. We want to know the hype, though, about high school players. Who overall is the most hyped guy? You can take a negative route.
Or be positive. It's okay.
Or stay neutral.
Just don't believe the hype.
Let us know who's the most hyped basketball player in high school down below. And we'll see you guys next week on IMHO.